The laughter hit her like a slap. Ava Morgan froze in the doorway, the cheap fluorescent lights above flickering against the polished marble floor, as the man at the end of the boardroom table smirked. "Oh good, the janitor's here," he said loudly, sending a ripple of chuckles through the room. Papers rustled. Someone tried to hide a smile behind their coffee cup. Ava's fingers tightened around the folder in her hand, her knuckles pale. She wasn't the janitor. She was there for her first day of work, a day that was supposed to mark the beginning of something new, not the unraveling of her dignity. *K. Before we go any further, tell us, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments, because this story, this one right here, will remind you that kindness still exists, even in the most unexpected hearts. And if you believe that good people still rise when the world looks away, like this video, subscribe to Yomil Tales, and let's keep spreading hope. From where she stood, she could see her reflection in the glass walls of the 32nd floor. The woman staring back at her looked small next to the gleaming skyline-worn blazer, scuffed heels, eyes trying too hard not to break. The kind of person this company, Titan Global, chewed up and spit out without a second thought. "Sorry," Ava said softly, forcing a tight smile. "I'm actually here for..." But before she could finish, Richard Von, the man who'd made the joke, waved a hand. Yeah, I know. You'll figure out where the supply closet is eventually. We've got a big meeting starting. Sweetheart, don't get in the way." The laughter returned, cruel and easy. No one corrected him. Not one person spoke up. And so, Ava walked quietly to the back of the room, heart hammering, pretending not to care as humiliation crawled up her neck like fire. It wasn't supposed to go this way. She'd spent years preparing for this moment, years working 2 jobs, studying business at night, dreaming of standing in a room like this among leaders, thinkers, people who built things that mattered. But now, standing at the back of that cold, polished room, all she felt was the sting of being unseen. If you're watching this and you've ever been laughed at, dismissed, or judged before you even got a chance to speak, tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because Ava's story is about to show you that no amount of cruelty can bury truth forever. The meeting began with the kind of buzzwords that fill air but say nothing: scalability, optimization, vertical integration. Ava listened quietly, taking notes, her mind working faster than her tongue. She saw errors, flaws in their logistics projections, outdated analytics, but no one asked for her input. She was invisible. When an intern fumbled and spilled coffee across the projector table, chaos erupted. Richard cursed under his breath. "For God's sake," he barked, slamming a folder shut. "Can we get someone who actually knows how to fix this?" His eyes found Ava again. "You," he said, pointing. "You look handy. Clean this up." The room chuckled again, softer this time, uncertain. Ava hesitated, then nodded. She moved with quiet precision, unplugging the equipment, cleaning the spill, and rebooting the system. Within moments, the screen flickered back to life. "Try now," she said evenly. A few impressed murmurs spread. One executive whispered, "How'd she do that?" Richard forced a grin. "Guess she's a janitor/tech support," he joked weakly. But something in the room had shifted. For the first time, a few people looked at Ava not with amusement, but with curiosity. The meeting dragged on. They presented half-finished reports, repeated jargon, and patted each other on the back for mediocrity. Ava's patience thinned. She wasn't there to serve coffee or reboot projectors. She was there to make a difference. Then, the doors opened. Silence swept the room as Evelyn Carter, the CEO herself, walked in, heels clicking like punctuation. "I hope I'm not interrupting," she said, setting her tablet down. "Not at all," Richard said, straightening his tie, desperate to impress. He launched into a summary of their so-called progress, throwing around figures that didn't add up. Evelyn listened for a while, then frowned. "That's it?" she asked flatly. Ava's pulse quickened. She couldn't keep silent anymore. "Actually," she said softly, from the back of the room, "there's something else." Every head turned. Richard blinked. "Excuse me." Evelyn raised a hand. "Go on." Ava stepped forward, voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. I've been reviewing your current logistics model, and I think there's an overlooked opportunity to cut costs and improve delivery speeds. She inserted her USB drive into the laptop and pulled up a presentation she'd built herself. Charts, projections, data, real solutions. The room shifted from skepticism to silence. The numbers spoke for themselves. Where did you get this? Evelyn asked. From Titan's own shipment archives, Ava replied, cross-referenced with national import data and consumer behavior metrics. Everything you need is already here, you just needed to look closer. A stunned hush fell. Even Richard had no words. When Ava finished, Evelyn smiled slightly. Impressive. What's your name again? Ava Morgan, she said. Well, Ms. Morgan, Evelyn replied. You just saved this company millions of dollars. Applause broke out, soft at first, then genuine. But Ava didn't smile. She wasn't finished yet. When the room emptied, Evelyn stayed behind. You're not on our staff list, she said. Where did you say you're from? Richard jumped in quickly, eager to regain control. She's probably from admin, maybe a visitor or consultant. Ava met his eyes, calm and unflinching. Actually, she said quietly, I'm here on behalf of the board. Richard blinked. The board. Evelyn's lips curved into a knowing smile. Go ahead, Ms. Morgan. Ava took a slow breath. As of this morning, she said, I've been appointed interim CEO of Titan Global. The silence that followed was absolute. Richard's mouth fell open. A folder slipped from someone's hand and hit the floor. I wanted to understand this company from the inside. Ava continued, to see how people were treated when they didn't look important. What I saw today tells me we've lost something far more valuable than revenue. Evelyn nodded in agreement. Richard looked pale. You mean this was a test? Ava said simply. And you failed. That day changed everything. By evening, an internal memo confirmed Ava's position. The janitor was now the boss. Word spread fast, whispers in elevators, stunned silence in hallways. Ava walked through it all quietly, greeting every receptionist, cleaner, and security guard she passed. For the first time, those smiles weren't pity, they were respect. In the weeks that followed, Titan Global transformed. Meetings opened with ideas from every level. Employees once ignored were now heard. Richard was suspended, then brought back months later on probation, this time reporting to the very woman he'd mocked. He came to her office once, eyes lowered. I was wrong, he said. About you. About everything. Ava nodded. Growth starts with humility, she said. You can stay if you mean it. He did. Slowly, the arrogance faded, replaced by something closer to gratitude. Months later, at a company-wide gathering, Ava took the stage. Her voice carried across the room in a quiet challenge. You never know who's watching, she said, or who they really are. So treat everyone with respect, because the next person you dismiss might be the one writing your paycheck. The crowd erupted in applause louder, freer than any meeting before. That night, Ava found a note on her desk. No name, just 6 words written neatly in pen. Thank you for reminding us, why. And maybe that was the real victory, not the title, not the power, but the proof that kindness and integrity still meant something in a world obsessed with appearances. If this story touched you, take a moment, like, share, and subscribe to Yarmil Tales. And before you scroll, tell us, have you ever been underestimated? How did you prove them wrong? Because sometimes, the quietest people carry the loudest truths, and the world only learns when someone like Ava Morgan decides to speak.